Today, we're diving into a popular post from the Reddit titled as, "I blew up a romance scammer's life." This post received 4104 upvotes. Posted by Adorable Work 8442. The post reads as follows. I blew up a romance scammer's life. This one is fresh and still unfolding, but it's already hit an explosive level. Some details intentionally vague. Context. I'm a woman in my 30s with a reasonably good corporate-type job in a field with lots of room for growth and am recently back into the dating scene after a decade. I'm kind of a, would be a 10 if she lost 30 pounds, looking girl, beautiful face if a bit chubby, but I never have issues getting a date. I'm not well off but I'm stable and have a bit of spending money. I live in a large multicultural city and my ex was an immigrant, so I'm open to dating people of any origin. What happened? A few weeks ago I met a very charming man from a Latin American country only a couple years younger than me. Seemed very sweet, cuddly, intelligent, family-oriented, emotionally available, educated and in a good profession back home in his country and had a lot in common with me. Chemistry seemed amazing inside and outside the bedroom. He was honest that he was in my country on a tourist visa but hoping to stay. I made it clear I wouldn't be able to help him with that, but we'd have a fun summer fling while he was here. If he managed to stay or come back, only then would we consider a real relationship. Then the other shoe dropped. A couple weeks and 4 dates in, during a text conversation about my work, he asked me to be his sugar mommy. I initially laughed and assumed it was a joke. He kept pushing and clearly said it wasn't. Of course, feeling insulted by this, I went off on him. He maintained it as a serious ask until I hit a nerve with my complaints about how embarrassed he should be to ask me that. Then he got angry and insulted me for thinking he was serious about it. No apology for being hurtful to me. Obviously what I did next was take screenshots and cry about it to my closest friends. I was hurt that I was fooled into thinking he liked me and that he thought I needed to pay for a man. My friends started the fuse on what happened next. One of my friends started snooping more on his online presence. Together we found about 6 different Instagram accounts that were him using different variations of his name and different photos of himself, all uploaded in batches. On Facebook, a similar pattern. All very scammy and suspicious looking. He'd been foolish enough on one of his profiles though to follow and tag the employer that he was working for illegally on his tourist visa in my country. So I contacted another close friend in a local law enforcement agency that works with immigration. She looked up his file. He had a wife and daughter at home. I released the hounds after that. The friend who helped me investigate online made several group chats on multiple platforms with all of his family, immediate and extended, and friends. She released all the screenshots as well as a rant about how shameful it was. As they started blocking her, she added more people. I found his sister's phone number. She sent her messages on there too. Everyone he knows, including his wife, know he's unfaithful and trying to take advantage of women. 30 minutes after the online bombardment started, I got a rude message from him about how I should be smart enough to know he was joking and he doesn't need to sell himself. I didn't reply. Next step? Online immigration reporting form with all the info we found. Work info, employer name and address, his home address, full name, job, photos, screenshots admitting to working. Usually these reports take months to be reviewed if at all, but I gave the file number to my law enforcement friend. 2 days later, law enforcement officers visited him at home. They found him with a phone number that was issued to a local resident. All his roommates also had numbers issued to the same person, a direct link to the employer. He received a caution for trying to scam me, a no-contact order and a flag on his immigration file that based on his country of origin will likely mean he can never return, as well as a strict warning to not work without authorization. His roommates also received warnings. His employer received a visit next. They found significant proof that they'd been employing him illegally as well as multiple other people. Their investigation is still ongoing, but so far they are likely to receive tens of thousands in fines or possible jail time. The guy isn't getting deported because the government would have to pay for it and proceedings take longer than his remaining visa time, but he's now upgraded from a flagged file to a multi-year ban on re-entry to my country. If he bothers me again though, he will be deported as well. Hope he enjoys going back to his angry wife and the ridicule from everyone he knows. See ya again never. Edit. The comments on my appearance are a tongue-in-cheek way of describing how he may have viewed me and speak more to his failure to select the correct victim profile. It's not that deep and I don't really care about my appearance very much. Relax a bit peeps. It's up on Nuclear Revenge now too. https://www.reddit.com/r/nuclearrevenge/comments/I_blue_up_a_source equals share and UDM_medium equals iOS_app and UDM_name equals iOS and UDM_content equals 2 and UDM_term equals 1. A comment from user 1boss_hog1 says, I'd lean this more towards nuclear revenge. This comment received 1557 upvotes. A comment from user Shellbell4 says, related unintentional pro-revenge. My bestie kept getting scammed by romance scammers and unlike you, she's poor. She's a poor single mom working just over minimum wage. Those scammers would tell her they were sending her money and they would, only for her account to get drained a week or two later with crazy charges. She changed her banking information countless times. She had so many fraudulent charges on her accounts that the bank stopped reimbursing her. And after about a year of this non-stop nonsense, the bank finally closed her account. Without warning, they closed it and she had to scramble to get a new account, a different bank, get her direct deposit and autopays all changed over. Well, right before the bank closed her account, the scammer wired $10,000 to her, no doubt planning to pull it back and more once she spent out of it. When her old bank settled her closed account by sending her a check, she received for $8,600 some odd dollars. It cashed, free and clear. No way for the scammer to pull it back once the bank did a hard close. So nanner boo-boo. Did she learn her lesson? IDK, we'll see. But in the meantime, she has some pocket change, for a change. This comment received 73 upvotes. A comment from user envelope_torture says, 2 days later, law enforcement officers visited him at home. They found him with a phone number that was issued to a local resident. It sounded made up until this part, then it really jumped the shark. This comment received 438 upvotes. A reply from user Philatio11 says, I have lots of friends in law enforcement. As a general rule, they would never do shit for me, and are frankly mostly pretty lazy about doing their regular job. You can't even get a parking ticket dismissed anymore. I know an actual hardworking federal agent working a murder case of another friend's parents. You think he's gonna talk to me about it? It's already a fucking podcast. He ain't gonna discuss shit. I know a guy who used to work in immigration writing deportations. Last time I saw him he was so plowed we were asking the bartender to water down his drinks. Having a friend in law enforcement is an old movie plot device. It's not real anymore. This reply received 194 upvotes. A reply from the original author Adorable Work 8442 says, maybe consider that we don't live in the same country. The systems are different. This reply received 7 upvotes. A comment from user RougeZombie666 says, holy shit, rolling on the floor laughing, rolling on the floor laughing. Nice work. This comment received 275 upvotes. A comment from user The Local Town Drunk says, assuming his roommates aren't pulling the same stunt, I feel bad for them being collateral damage in all of this. It's one thing to go after him. It's another thing to cause a domino effect with affects others who didn't do anything to her. This comment received 136 upvotes. A comment from user Magaphone12 says, cool. I am glad you dealt out punishments to scammers. What is up with that narcissistic statement in the first paragraph? You would be a 10 if you lose 30 pounds? Just saying that nonsense alone would net you a -5. This comment received 89 upvotes. A reply from the original author Adorable Work 8442 says, "Lol, it was mostly a joke, but you sound a bit misogynistic." This reply received -47 upvotes. A comment from user Tracian says, "Where is the scammer part? He asked you to be his sugar mommy," which seems pretty honest. He could be a scammer, but you were not scammed in this scenario. This comment received 63 upvotes. A comment from user Zpiet says, "Sigh. I was with you until you involved immigration and law enforcement. Emo. Supposed cheating and lying about a relationship status are no reason to involve immigration and law enforcement. You didn't give him money. He didn't threaten you or physically harm you. Is he slimy, a jerk, and fill in the blank with other names? Yes. Worthy of involving immigration? No. That's some next level shit that can impact his life beyond just entry. Stay in one, e.g., your country. Blasting him on FB and all other social media. To his family and friends, yep, well deserved." This comment received 66 upvotes. A comment from user Robosaurus Rex 2000 says, "I'm a 10 if I lost 30 pounds. I'm sure you're a 0 as soon as you start speaking." This comment received 30 upvotes. A comment from user Angry_Courage_Wolf says, "You sound like an incredibly petty person with self-confidence issues." Sure enough, it's a dick move to have multiple accounts online, all scammy and suspicious looking. That is an assumption that you made while being hurt. I understand that it is disappointing to be let down by someone that you were emotionally invested in, but stuff like that happens all the time. Asking you if you will be your sugar mom is not a good way of turning the conversation on his behalf, but did he take any money from you? Did he abuse you? Did he in any form take advantage of you? You could now say, "Yes, he pretended to enjoy my company because he had an ulterior motive of receiving financial support." Even if he did. You mentioned in your post that you both had a great time and a great chemistry, so why don't you just accept the enjoyable dates for what they are and move on? You could have seen it from a positive point of view and learned from it. Taken the good times with and maybe even laughed about it with your friends because again, nobody was harmed. If you felt the need to let his family back home know, that's fine, but chances are he's in your country to provide a better future for his family. I'm sure a trip to a country that's less economically developed than yours would open your eyes. There's no need to get immigration involved. Your whole revenge sounds like you're an emotional mess because no mentally healthy human would waste so much of their time screwing over someone else's life and feeling great about using their power of being born in their home country. What is done now, but I would advise you to take time to reflect on this situation and hopefully you will come to the conclusion that this was an absolute overreaction. This comment received 31 upvotes.